Hello, welcome to Centurion's Corner, and today we are reviewing from the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger line, Lightning Collection, Dino Fury Green Ranger. Now this is Izzy in her transformed kind of suit here, and yeah, if you're not into Power Rangers, that's fine. I kind of got more into Power Rangers when I started collecting the Mighty Morphin Lightning Collection, and then Netflix released this new range of Power Rangers here. And actually, if you were a bit of a fan of the Power Rangers and you want a little bit of light watching as well on TV, I highly recommend it. I've never been a massive fan of Power Rangers, and it's more like the nostalgia that kind of holds me around it. But this was actually a really nice series, and each episode felt like it was a progression in story rather than loads of little mini episodes. So I would highly give it a watch. It is pretty cool. And yeah, so this is the Green Ranger. This is the second one that's come out from the Dino Furies. We've got the red and now we've got the green, and I think the blue is coming out in the future. So looking at the box, looking pretty nice here. We've got a nice green sort of illustration at the top there of the Green Ranger, a nice drawing, shall I say, and then we've got the Lightning Collection sort of like streak with her on the front there in a computer rendered of the actual figure itself. Quite a nice looking pose. On the side there, we've got that drawing once again, and on this side we have just got the rendering at the bottom of her head and then the Dino Fury Green Ranger, and on the back again the same picture once again. I mean, come on guys, just give us a bit more, a few shots on these boxes. And then we got the computer rendering of there with an alternative head on the top there, so looking pretty cool. So I guess without further ado, let's crack this bad girl open. So here she is in a little tray inside. It is quite weird how you got all these different kind of sort of like versions of this sort of like packaging from Hasbro. I mean, I just literally opened up the Luke Skywalker one and it's just in a brown box. So why couldn't they go this way and do like the black series in a nice kind of presentation? It just makes the box feel a bit more unique, and it works out like a little tray as well once you like pop all these bits of cardboard back in. So we've got her accessories, and here she is in this packaging here. It is kind of weird that they give this extra little bit of shelf down here, but it's just for the actual sort of like instructions or warning agreements and stuff down there. So we get her out for her first impressions, and I think she's already got her alternative head on here by the looks of things, and yeah, looking pretty cool. It's actually quite a nice likeness of her as well, to be honest with you. So we're going to go away, take some pictures, put her through her paces, and we'll see you in a moment. We've been away, we are taking the pictures of the figure, and what can I say about her? Well, I'm going to have to put a bit of a declare out there that this figure I've had a few problems with, and whether it affect the review, I'm not 100% sure, but she literally fell apart in my hands. It just literally, she comes with obviously this head here, and I thought what I want to do is swap it over, you know, take some pictures, and I want to put this head back on, as you do to take some pictures. I mean, that is literally the play value of it. She comes with this extra head. So as I took this head off, the neck joint all the way down, and inside there's like a little plate that kind of like holds it down. So there's like this hole, and then the plate which holds the actual neck in place of the ball joint literally ripped out, and I just had this sort of square piece, and there's no way it's going to go back in because there was a round part at the bottom. So I took a picture. On that I thought, well, I've got to try and get it back in. So I heated up the figure, and I thought I might slightly can just crack this open there on this side and then pop it back in. But what actually happened was the back fell off, the front fell off, and her arms. So I literally had everything of her upper body in complete parts in my hand. And I keep seeing people put on Facebook groups that they've had problems with the figures, and I'm just thinking they're just doing it just for, you know, for likes, or like to discriminate Hasbro and whatnot, because those people are out there. But now I have to sympathise. It actually happened to me, and I couldn't believe it. So what I had to do was kind of put the head back in. Even it actually broke the kind of connections in through the actual torso as well. So I've actually super glued her together, just not hindering all the whole articulation there at all. But it is this arm's become super loose, unfortunately, because of it. Look, woo! I can still pull it in a place. It doesn't fall down, you know, but if it was going to be supporting her weight, it ain't going to do so. Not like this arm where it feels more kind of rigid, which is fine because this is a sword holding arm. I think if I put any extra weight on here, it would just slowly just move down over time. But anyway, that is the actual figure. That was my kind of sort of nitpick about the figure. It's actually a good figure in all. So we go through the actual review itself. Well, let's start with her sword here. So she actually comes with her sort of like dragon sort of sword or Dino Fury sword. There is a few kind of paint applications missing. They're supposed to have like a red line up here and a few other bits. I still haven't got around to doing it with my Red Ranger yet. So I'll maybe do that in a video a bit later on. But yeah, the details on there, you can see like gold looks really nice. The actual sculpt of the actual figure itself, or the sword itself, down onto the hilt and the sword, looks really nice in those sort of silvers. And that can actually fit into a little sheath that she has on the side, although I think it needs heating up because you can get halfway down and then it just stops wanting to go down. I think I'm going to have to heat it up. It just feels a little bit too small for that. So we just take that out and actually go through the rest of her accessories. I'll get my words out in a minute. It's gone a bit crazy. So she comes with these extra hands. We've got an open palmed one and we've got a kind of sort of a grasping hand for holding her sword. And then the silver actually comes with a grasping hand as well on this side. And then the green, we have an open palm there for any kind of sort of like martial arts kind of move or Power Ranger posing. She also comes with this lightning piece that fits onto the sword up this side. So it goes all the way up to this point straight through. And I must apologise, my neighbours are literally drilling the hell out of the place, but I don't want to fall behind with the reviews, so I'm just doing this one now while they bang and drill. And that fits onto the sword itself, looking okay. You can use it for other parts, but I never really use them, to be honest. So it's kind of good to just use these extra bits for like Marvel Legends and whatnot. And the last accessory is an extra head. Does it really look like, is he? Not too sure. It's got kind of a little bit of look in there. She's always got a little bit more of an attitude. That eye on the left hand side just does look a little bit blodgy out. It looks a bit sort of elonged or large. I'm not too sure what's going on with it, but yeah, it's kind of nice to have these extra heads. I never really use them apart from when I'm sort of taking pictures. So we just take that off and we can pop this on over on this side, and it works fine. You know, there's no extra sort of like height in the actual neck piece and stuff on there, and it works well. So yeah, she's not looking too bad. So for the accessory wise, they don't really use guns or any other sort of parts there. I mean, yeah, sure, they could come with an extra morpher and stuff, but she comes with the accessories that she needs. They use a sword, she's got a lighting effect, she's got an extra head and an extra pair of hands. So for me, for these Power Rangers, it's definitely a tick on that part. Articulation wise, so this one she can turn left, she can turn right, she can look down, not so much, and looking up, not a lot either. I'm not too sure really what's going on there, but the dumbbell is so far up into the actual head on this one, it's like really high. So I kind of wish that they just keep with the actual hinge neck rather than this extra movement here, because you really miss out on them sort of looking up to get those kind of nice sort of like flying poses. Arm-wise, got full rotation around here. It can come up that far, and we've got a butterfly joint there in the arms. We've got a swivel there, which is slightly different to that arm there, and then we've got a double elbow joint pinless as well, and we've got rotation here at the sort of like bracer, rotation here at the wrist, and it's also on a hinge. I'm just kind of thinking, like, is this too small? Is this really too small for the figures now to have this double elbow joint, especially for the quality of plastic that they're using? Because sometimes it does feel really kind of just too flimsy for me for a double elbow there. And I think they've gone for like pinless as well. I think it really hinders the elbows. There's so many times now that I've had pinless joints where they just feel like I really have to warm them up to get them to sort of break to do the actual articulation that they needed. Anyway, moving on. We've got full rotation here, left, right. She can crunch this back and back this way. We have got an ab crunch as well, just slightly down on this part and back again. Leg wise, come up this way. There is a drop in the hip as well. Legs can come up this way, forward, back, upper thigh rotation there. We've got a double knee as well. We've got a rotation at the boot, rocker and a pivot at the ankle. So yeah, she's got everything there. It's just a shame in the head that she hasn't got the articulation there. But it's not generally the figure's fault. It's just a case of maybe the head's way too big, and obviously the neck has fallen off at that point. So articulation wise, she has got a tick. She's got everything that you need. If you really need to put her in those poses, she has got it. So yeah, for me, it's definitely a tick on that one. And then really it comes down to the looks of the figure, and I'll bring in the Red Ranger here, where they kind of updated everything here. So the helmet looks really, really nice. I'm going to just bring in the red one here, because the red helmet, the first sort of versions of these, you can really see the details are different. This is fully sculpted in and then painted on, so it just looks a little bit thin. But if you look at this one here, the actual sculpt of the helmet around, but this part at the top all around underneath the visor is a separate piece, so it really kind of opens up that kind of sort of like width of the helmet, and it really works. It really adds that extra 3D effect to it, when this one here, it's kind of sort of like just painted on and around. So yeah, it is kind of a, you know, I think the rest will look like this, and again our Red Ranger will probably look a little bit outdated, considering this one actually got pinned elbows and legs as well. So by the time all the rest have come out, they'll be on a new body, and this one will be kind of sort of like flaking behind. So I kind of wish that they know that they're going ahead doing all these, and then we end up with an oddity in the collection. Looking down, the actual silver's quite nice. I do think the green looks a little bit pastel-y. I think I would like it to be a little bit darker. It makes the figure look a little bit too cheap. And then we've got that sort of like silver shining plastic as well, but I think the silver works quite well. Got the extra gold around here with the extra sort of details, and all those bits in there in the braces, and the same around on the boot as well. So all in all, I think the figure itself is really cool. She's got a sort of Mighty Morphin changer here. Again, it needs some paintwork on there. It needs to be white and red, I think, which I'll probably add on to this guy as well. So one day I'll probably just sit down and do an update with these Power Rangers, just adding those extra paintworks on them, what they need. And that's kind of it really for her. You know, that is just generally in all. So let's just put her down to one side, and I'll bring in some other female characters that we do have. I'll try and get her to stand up, and like so. So I have got Kimberly here, one of the older figures, and you can see there's a slight size comparison, especially in the shoulders there. She's a little bit taller, especially I think most of that is actually put in this sort of like a torso area down here. And then I've also got Princess Leia from the Black series, so we can just pop her in there. And Princess Leia always looks really small compared to a lot of the Black series. I know Carrie Fisher was only like 5'1", but here you go. Here's Ahsoka to be a little bit better size comparison there. And then I have my custom Black Widow just sort of laying around because she just had a photo done. So that is kind of it really. What do you think of these characters? Have you had any more problems with your Hasbro characters? Put down in the comments down below. You can subscribe, ding the bell, follow me on Instagram, and I will see you next time. Until then, take care.